And hello, 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 hello. That's damn stupid. But it tickles me. Oh, Lord, honey. Little sip of shit we do to tickle ourselves, right? What's going on, people? Tea sippers and crumpet dunkers, how are you out there? Welcome to another installment, darling, of the Donut Factory Chronicles and Commentaries and things. And y'all know who I am. This is Big Meach. Coming at you loud, lively, in color, and we're at the Donut Factory, darling. So, I'm going to be sitting up here making the donuts and carrying on, so y'all going to be hearing strange noises and me responding to shit, and I got to put the camera down every time to come up and type on here to do my work. But at the same time of doing all that, I could turn this air on. It's a little hot in here. So I got to talk over that because y'all going to hear that blowing. But nonetheless, I want to come to you because there's a couple things that I want to discuss, child. And the big one being this whole thing with these abortion rules and things and all of that. So this is going to be kind of heavy. I may say some things, honey, that I'm sure some of you are not going to agree with, and that's fine. We can learn to disagree and have opinions. Just don't be disagreeable, because if you come from me, honey, it's not going to be cute. Understand? So let's have a conversation. In the meantime, in the between time, honey, I'm going to put down here in the comment section my website. I want you guys to go there frequently and honestly and enjoy yourselves there and to pass this along and carry it on. I got a couple of events coming up that I got to put on the website. Big Meach is going to be dishing tea with Big Meach is going to be the media outlet at the DJ battle, honey, that's coming up in June. So look for me and carrying on. I'm going to pass the flyer out. In fact, I just put something up in my story. So make sure you guys go there and learn about that, honey. So we're going to be that. Jeremy, you said, well, I'll comfort you, so there. Okay, right. Don't do it, honey, Supergirl, because I'm still Wonder Woman. So be that as it may. But in the meantime, let's get into this real quickly, because I don't know how much time I'm going to have to talk with you, because we're going to have the kids coming up in here in a minute, and when they start coming up in here, they may interrupt my thought. And then, lately I've been doing these damn lives, I've been getting sleepy in the middle of them, honey, so I want to make sure my sleep don't come down on me. Yeah, working overnight is a mess, but let's do this. Let's get into this, because as you all know, the Supreme Court, I mean, not the Supreme Court, but there's a couple of things that have gone down here in Georgia. The whole abortion thing has been passed, and here they're saying that abortions are illegal after 6 weeks. And if they could, what they call the heartbeat bill, okay, if they could determine a heartbeat, excuse me, you know what I mean? If they could determine a heartbeat, and then it's 6 weeks or better, then abortions are illegal. In Alabama, what they have done is they just ban abortions, period. Okay, with one exception, and that there is if the pregnancy is going to put the mother at risk, okay, of losing her life. So, period. They have not wavered on that at all. What I find most interesting is that the penalties are not against the mother. The penalties are going against those who perform the abortion. So all of the doctors and the staffing and carrying on, the penalties are going towards them. And in this day and age, I have strong opinions about that, because I think that, number one, we are regressing so heavily, okay? We're now, the whole Make America Great Again campaign is really going back into the time where y'all heard me say this before, that we're going back into a time, honey, where white elderly men were completely in control. And that means women had no rights. Of course, African Americans and people of color and all other ethnicities didn't have any rights at all. And we are at a place to where now everyone is trying to undo something, okay? We've had these laws, Roe v. Wade. Everybody's been upset about Roe v. Wade since its inception. And another thing about this thing is that the abortion legislations are designed to go to the Supreme Court, because they know folks are going to fight it. They know folks are going to protest it. They know folks are going to want to have it turned and reversed and this, that, and the other. And so in order to make this happen, they are looking forward to this getting to the Supreme Court. Why? Because the current administration has just put into office, into the new Supreme Court justice seat, someone who is anti-abortion, someone who is anti-Roe v. Wade, and they are looking to get the Supreme Court to have to rule on this so that it can ultimately overturn the Roe v. Wade verdict from, I forget what year Roe v. Wade came out. But we're looking to go and to wipe away all of that, okay? Let me go here. There's many parts to this that I want to get into. Let me see if I can get this comfortable, because I want to be free and not hold this phone. Then I want to make sure I got some good light, because lately my light has been sucky. Okay, is that a little better? Can I do that? Wait a minute. Is that the T? Is that the T? Can we do that? It's kind of crooked. No. How about that? Is that better? No, that's not. I don't want to cook in it. I'm trying to get this thing to do right, children, so just bear with me for half a second, so that I don't want to cook it. There we go. Okay. So, here's the tea on this, okay? I am a pro-lifer, okay? I'm sorry. I am pro-choice, and in my definition, pro-choice is pro-life, because what we have here, ultimately, pro-choice is between that person and whoever they believe to be their higher power, and there's a lot that goes into that decision. For those of you who are pro-lifers, for those of you who believe that the baby is a life at conception, personally, I do share that opinion as well, okay? At the same time, because I share that opinion, I am not one who could sit down here and tell somebody else what to do with their bodies, okay? And carried on. Bear Zion, hey, thanks for coming in. Cole Blackwell has come up in here. Hey, what's going on, people? Wait a minute, let me say hello. I usually do that a little later, but y'all bringing in comments. I want to acknowledge that. No, I wasn't necessarily having problems, Bear. I just wanted to position the camera so I could be a little hands-free. And it was always on the crook, and I didn't want to be a crooked. So, yeah, but we got it together. Okay. But like I'm saying, I share the sentiment that I am one who believes that life begins at conception. Otherwise, if it wasn't a living thing, then the prenatal care and everything that goes along with making sure that the mother takes care of the child wouldn't be such an issue. It wouldn't be, oh, don't smoke while you're pregnant, don't drink while you're pregnant because this is going to affect the baby. It would be none of those things if this was not a living organism, correct? I mean, for those who believe that it is not until birth, that's ridiculous. When the mother has to eat, she has to eat for more than one, and when her cravings pick up and all that, that means there's somebody else up in there, correct? All right. So it is impossible and it is ridiculous to believe that during the developmental process that the other life is not a living thing. Okay? So, at the same time, what we have to do is we have to understand that the choice for the woman to carry on the pregnancy is hers. It's unfair, and I'm going to say in a minute why I believe it's unfair, but the choice is hers. We cannot tell them what to do with their bodies. It is unethical. It is unmoral. And then for those of us who claim, well, y'all, because I'm no longer a traditional Christian, but for those who claim to be all Christianified and carried on, how arrogant of you to sit down here and to throw God on everyone in the name of wanting the baby to come to life. Okay, a lot of these scare tactics and things that a lot of folks are doing in the name of saving the child. Y'all want to talk about what God said and what God said and what God said and what God said. No one knows anyone's journey. You don't know what's going on with that person, or that woman rather, and why it is necessary for her to have the abortion and to abort the pregnancy. You don't understand that. You don't know why it has to be. And then on top of it, we say, okay, except for in cases of incest and rape. Well, darlings, if you guys are real good Christians, you would know that if you read the Old Testament, incest was accepted, okay, at one point in time as a lifestyle, because if somebody in the family was not able to conceive, then to keep it in the family, honey, the girl or the dude had to fuck somebody in the family, see, to keep it in the tribes. Okay, so incest was encouraged. So now you're saying that, okay, in cases of incest, and then at one point in time, incestual sex was a way of life. Okay, so now we're sitting up here, you trying to be traditional, and you want to sit up there and say that these things, you know, in these particular cases, that it should be outlawed and carried on. Well, we're not looking at the history, okay, of the whole incestual thing. Another thing that gets me about this particular decree is that all of you who are claiming that you're pro-life, all of you who are saying that these babies deserve to be here, and I agree with that, they deserve to be here. I have not one time seen any of you have this same fervor, this same pick up and go attitude to go down to the orphanages. I have not seen you guys become better foster care parents. I have not seen any of you pro-lifers talk about the deplorable ways that a lot of the foster children are being treated. I have not seen you guys open up your homes to give these kids a better life for those who are in the foster care program, those who are orphans, who cannot be adopted. I have not seen or heard any of you pro-lifers get on the bandwagon so where single people can adopt, LGBT children, people can adopt, and things of that nature. I have not seen you pro-lifers get on the bandwagon and fight with the same fervor that you fight to tell this woman to have this baby. I have not seen for you fight with the same fervor to keep these kids in a better way when they get here, when they get thrown on, or perhaps when they get left at the stool, or when the baby's been thrown in the trash cans, or somebody coming, you know, and leave the babies elsewhere. I have not seen or heard of you pro-lifers, the way how you gather in numbers to talk about abortion clinics. I have not seen nor heard of any of you gathering and proclaiming this same thing the way that you do about abortion. I have not seen you advocate for the rights of these children that you say are so precious, that you say life begins at inception. I have not seen you fight for their lives in order to get them to the next stages. I have not seen you go into the school systems and help these same children who are not who are undernourished and who are not being taken care of. I have not seen you pro-lifers still go about the welfare of the children.
Express checkouts all clear at this time. There was no breakfast pre-orders.
Copy. Hold on, y'all. Ain't doing express checkouts. Okay. More y'all done came up in here. Hey, what's going on? I got Tracy, I got Tony, I got Leonard, I got CK. Oh, wait a minute. I got to say this name. This is an African name. Oleye Tudez. I believe. I think I hope I said that right. Okay. Thanks for watching. Come on up in here. Okay. Thank you. But as I was saying, I have not seen any of you pro-lifers take the bait. Take up the plate and fight for the lives of these children now that they are here. Okay? I have not seen you pro-lifers go down to the school systems and make the school systems better. I've not seen you pro-lifers get together and make sure that we have programs like Feed the Children and Carrying On should not exist. You understand? Programs like Feed the Children should not exist if you pro-lifers are doing what is supposed to be done to keep these children that you say are precious and should not have been aborted and things of that nature, that you should have something in place that speaks to all of this that's going on. Okay? There should never have been a time where we have children who are homeless and things of that nature because you pro-lifers said that these children deserve to be here. Okay? And I'm saying it like that because I'm looking at how you guys rally, you guys get together in numbers, you guys sit down here and protest, you lobby and carrying on, and in the name of Christianity, you blow up, you've been blowing up, you have been known. I mean, it hasn't happened in recent times, but it has been known, and you have been known to blow up abortion clinics, and you have been known to terrorize abortion doctors and carrying on, okay? I've not seen you in those kinds of numbers fight for the lives of children that you claim is so precious because you're trying to stop a woman from having an abortion. Okay? I have a problem with that. A major problem with that because we have a lot of children who are in these orphanages looking to be adopted, looking for good homes that you pro-lifers say is supposed to be out there, but none of you have opened up your damn doors to these kids. We have a number of children who are lost in the system, going through wondering, how come nobody wants me? How come my mama didn't want me? Nobody wants me. And you pro-lifer are not there at those orphanages to show them the love that these children need and these children desire and these children want, that you say is supposed to be there. I've not seen you in those kinds of numbers. Okay? So let's go there. Okay, another thing. If you're going to fight for a fight for abortions being illegal and carrying on, then in that fight, I have not heard the conversation of a father's right to his baby. I'm gonna let that sit for a second. I have never heard the fight of a father's right to his child. Okay? And I'm going there because, as I've said before, I agree with being pro-choice because you can't tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her body. Okay? I totally agree with that. However, if we're going to have this conversation, then we need to broaden this conversation Because along with the mother, there is a father. And oftentimes, because of we can't tell a woman what to do with her body, the father has no say-so about his child. And I'm not talking about the ones who you want to sit down there and put on the birth certificate as the baby daddy. I'm not talking about all you bitches that go running on Maury and Jerry and all them other stupid ass shits, and down to what is the paternity court and all them little TV shows to sit down here to see who the baby daddy is, because you don't know, bitch. We ain't talking about you. I'm talking about the ones that you know are the daddies. The ones that you sit up there and made him pay the $250 for you to get an abortion because you weren't ready to have this child. And he said, no, wait a minute, that's my baby. And you tell him, you can't tell me what to do with my body. See there, I don't hear you pro-lifers including in that conversation the father's rights. Okay? I don't hear that. I don't hear where the protection is for the child and for the father. If the father said, give me my baby, because you don't want it, let me have my child, what protections are in there to stop this abortion from happening? Okay? So I know this here is something that this is the part I said y'all may not agree with me with. But this here is a conversation that needs to be had. If we're going to sit up here and talk about this in the way that we need to talk about it, this is a part of that. This is a component of that argument that needs to be addressed. Because so much of this is on the woman. Everything is on the woman, to where we forget it takes two to make a baby. And the father's voice in this is never heard. The father's voice in this is never taken into consideration. In fact, the only time it's taken into consideration is after the baby is here, and you want him to pay child support if she's on welfare, or if you're not active in her life, he's supposed to sit down here and pay for it. Okay? Or on the front end, because you say he the daddy, you don't want the damn baby, you want to make sure he pay for the fucking abortion. Now how asinine is that? Oh, that just upset. Oh my God, wait a minute, that just pissed me off. How fucking asinine. How asinine, how rude, how fucking arrogant of you to sit down here and tell this man to his face that you finna kill his baby because you don't want it. He trying to sit up there and tell you, wait a minute, baby, let's come up with something because I want my child. But a father's rights ain't discussed. And all you fucking pro-lifers out there, y'all got the nerve to sit down here and say what's what, but I ain't heard you talk about the father's rights in this yet. How dare you? If you're going to open up this conversation, open it up. Open it up, damn it, because see, we got some issues up in here that's not clean-cut lines. It's not clean-cut lines. And as I said, I'm pro-choice. I am pro-choice, okay? I understand that. The woman got to sit down here, she has to carry the child. I understand, I get it. I get it, I am pro-choice. However, at the same time, if we're going to have these conversations, we've got to expand this motherfucker, because see, the father's rights are never discussed in these things. Ever. Until it's time to come down for that goddamn coin. It's the only time he end up being a part of the discussion. I have a problem with that. Okay? I have a major problem with that. Now, let's go to the adoptions. See? Because again, you pro-lifers, you want to talk about the baby need to be here. You talk about that baby being here. But yet, now that the baby is here, the mama don't want it. She probably didn't tell who the father is. Okay? In a lot of situations that happens. But you ought to put the baby in the system. Or better yet, y'all came and took the babies from the mama because you found she's unfit, she's this, she's that. But you pro-lifers are not there to talk about adoption rights. You pro-lifers are not there to sit down there to make sure that these children can find loving homes. And you want to block adoptions because a gay couple want to adopt a child. And you want to have the audacity to sit up here and say what is in the best interest of the child. What is in the best interest of the child? And yet, you want to sit down here and not open up your house, not open up your home, not open up your love, not even open up your pocketbook for the coin. But you want to sit down here and dictate to others who can and who cannot adopt these damn kids that you say supposed to be so precious that shouldn't be aborted. Okay? And I know how I'm putting this sounds harsh as hell because I'm hearing it. It sounds harsh. Okay? It sounds harsh. However, at the point of it sounding harsh, I'm driving home my point, because we have to expand this conversation. We have to expand the conversation, and we have to get to a point where we have adequate solutions that's going to represent us in the best way possible. Okay, in the best way possible, so that it benefits all parties involved. Okay? Now, how about this? Because here's the part of the conversation that we've never discussed. What about those husband and wives, honey, who just simply cannot have another child? What about them? Well, they agreed because the stress is too much. I can't get pregnant right now. Okay, but yet they don't believe in abortion. That's my alarm, y'all. They don't believe, you know, it's too many hard times or whatever. So they agreed. Okay, baby, we can't have this baby. Okay, this one we cannot have. Okay, but because of not using proper protection and contraception, or maybe the contraception failed, because that happens sometimes. What about those people who sit up there and say, okay, this is something that, you know, I have agreed, we've agreed as a couple, that this is something that we have to do. And you're going to tell them they can't? Okay, they can't do it. Okay. What about that part of the dynamic in this? Okay. So I have a major issue with this. Okay, I have a major issue with this. Okay. Let me read these comments, okay? Because Tracy, baby Tracy, I see you on fire with me. Hold on, I got to pick them up. Okay. You say what, Tracy? That's truth. The father is quickly discarded and has no say-so. I totally agree with you on that. The father needs to be part of the discussion. You said it doesn't sound harsh to me. Sounds like facts and being realistic. Okay, well, thank you, baby. I appreciate that. I'm just having a major time with. We have situations where we supposedly are. You know, the idea of separation of church and state is supposed to be what's the guiding force in our country. And I want to say that's the biggest lie that this country has told. Okay, well, one of them. Because everything about the laws, everything about this country, everything about what we stand for, being a quote-unquote Christian nation. How are you being a Christian nation and yet you separating church and state? Okay. You say you separate church and state, but you claim and stand on we are a Christian nation. Okay? All of the laws, honey, have some kind of biblical reference. Okay? All of them. They are derivatives of the Ten Commandments. Okay? All of them. Okay? They are derivatives of the Ten Commandments. So everything about this is church-based. Every time they want to sit down there and get you to rally and they care, now what do? They excite the evangelicals. This whole abortion thing, honey, is an evangelical proposition. So they can sit down there and put God on it, honey. If they scare everybody with God, child, then it becomes this whole big thing. If they sit up there and want the moral police to come out, honey, that's the evangelicals all day. To tell you what's right and wrong, what God is going to do. This is not what God would want, really. Okay. Then how come you, old Christian, who's supposed to be part of this village, how come you're not stepping up to make sure that the children who come out of these particular things are taken care of? Huh? Huh? We got soup kitchens that can't get food and can't get donors and carrying on. And yes, I know I don't do my part with the soup kitchens and things. I do feed folks out of my own home. You know, but I do what I do in my own little way. But the point that I'm making is that the soup kitchens, okay, need a pantry. They run out of food because they're trying to feed kids, families. But you pro-lifers are not there until it's Christmas and Thanksgiving. When I call the bow my way into heaven time of the year. Okay? Y'all ain't there for that. Yeah. But yet the churches don't pay taxes. Y'all are tax exempt, but yet y'all know how to change the policy of a law. Y'all have major influence when it comes down to signing bills and carrying on. You have major influence there. But y'all don't pay taxes the first as a church organization, as a body. But y'all got so much influence to where the whole country is revolving around you. And here's the thing. At one time, the black church had its power because we used to, the black church would sit down there that's how we congregated. That's why the black church is so important to us. But that has become such a joke now. The whole idea of the church has become a joke to where it does nothing, it has nothing to do with anything unless it's political. You won't sit down there and rally around LGBT children, the children adopting kids, because you say that's immoral and things, but yet you say this baby needs to be here. And the baby has latched on to somebody who loves them, somebody who cares for them, somebody who's nurturing them. But you say, I cannot adopt. I cannot bring this baby into my family and make this child my family. Give this child roots. Give this child a name. Okay, I'm willing to put my name on this baby so that this baby can grow up knowing he was a part of something, or she was a part of something. So he could feel belonged, like he was worthy, like he was needed. See? Y'all won't do that. You won't do that. And that there is a trap. See, hold on. I had to grab keys too. Hey, what's going on? I don't know. Okay. I do understand. Yes, yes, yes. So, no, it's quiet now. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Weekend was busy, but it's quiet today. Yeah. Oh, well, y'all got that conference. Yeah, we got the conference going on. Whatever's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm like, why are you here? But yeah, they set up for some conference today in the Grand. Okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm back. So that's where I am on this whole abortion thing, honey. We got to open up this discussion because oftentimes we forget about those particular things. You know what I'm saying? We forget about the smaller things, or at least parts of the discussion that nobody wants to tackle. Okay, Fred, you came in. Hi, how are you, sweetie? Tracy, you say, well, it seems like they want to be involved until the baby gets here. Then the mother is on her own and is ridiculed if she needs help and assistance. That's the other thing. Let's go there. Because, see, that's another part of this equation. See, you talk about you want food stamp and welfare reform and carrying on. But yet, the pro-lifers and stuff are not there to make sure that the babies and stuff are taken care of. Okay, you don't like the food stamp program. You don't like the WIC program or whatever. We used to have, back home in Detroit, we call it Focus Hope. But I know the commodities that was giving out, the block of cheese and the powdered milk and the powdered eggs and all that stuff. We don't even have that program much anymore around. And now when they have it, they probably give it to senior citizens. But we don't even do that anymore in order to make sure that the children are fed properly and got the nutrition that's needed. What is going on to where we're not caring for these babies that you say need to be here, pro-lifers? Now, let's go here. Because let me not be so insensitive. Because one of the things that we do know is that a lot of the people who are against abortions are really against the ones who use abortion as birth control. Okay? You out here hoeing and doing your thing, honey, and your evidence of your hoeing resulted in you end up pregnant. Okay? And instead of you taking responsibility for your actions, you then decide to just abort the baby. But you don't make a change in your ways and carry on, honey. You still out there hoeing and figure that, oh, I'll just dump the baby. Wait a minute. Copy. So you want to sit down here and use abortion as a means of birth control, so that you have no responsibility, and that there is what gives the whole game the teeth that it has. Because that now, and this is going to sound that way, but I know back at one particular time, that particular thing was afforded to, or abortion was considered to be a stigma for those who were hookers, streetwalkers, and carrying on. And here's the other thing. Those who had interracial babies. All right. Yeah, I said it. Those who had interracial babies. Okay. Becky couldn't come home with Raheem's baby. Okay. So she out there hoeing and carrying on, honey, but she couldn't bring no black baby home. She couldn't trust the fact that her genes were going to be the dominant genes or whatever. She couldn't bring no black baby home. Okay? So the sins, the evidence of your sin, honey, was going to be through the child that came out of your sin. You see? And so now, for those who sit up there and were looking to use abortion as birth control, honey, that is what we are attacking, I really believe. But here's the thing that we have not considered. If you wanted to put all the onus on the doctors and those who create or perform the abortions, you're going to force these women back to the back alleys again. You're going to force these women to go putting Coke bottles and shit up in themselves, to sit up there and spray the acid in they damn pussies to kill the babies. You're going to force them to go up in there with metal hooks and shit like they did back in the 60s and 70s in the back alleys, trying to abort a baby and end up hemorrhaging and carrying on and dying on these streets because they are trying to abort a pregnancy in unsafe conditions. Have we thought about that? Have we thought about what healthcare is going to cost if you drive this shit into the back alleys again? Have we thought about what is going to happen with the amount of women that would end up taking on this particular role and end up becoming sick and shut in and all this other kind of stuff? Huh? Have we thought about that? Or have you thought about it and now you're trying to do some kind of population control because there's a lot more women than there are men, supposedly, on the planet, and you're seeing this as an ultimate population control kind of thing, to where you're going to drive these women into those back alleys again, and then they're going to start dropping off like flies. Huh? Is that what this is becoming? Is that what the ultimate goal is? Huh? That there has there's too much at stake here. Okay, there's too much at stake here. Okay, for anybody to sit down here and to consider that. Now, as I said, I'm pro-choice all day because I believe pro-choice is pro-life. Okay, and I say that because that there is on the, if she's choosing life, if she's choosing to abort the child, because maybe right now the circumstances are not what they need to be in order to have a successful life. Maybe she, to abort the baby now versus having to go through the pains of adoption later. See, that's the other thing about that. Let's talk about that. What about those babies who were forced to be here had to go through all of that. Now they're looking for their adoptive parents. Huh? They're looking for their parents. And then what upset is that? When they go through all that to find out that the mama or the daddy don't want to be bothered with them. And you strip them, you have them to go through that kind of pain again. Huh? Or what happens when the mother now wants to take she's reconsidered, and now she wants to find her baby. But now she has to deal with an angry child because you just came in to upset their world. See? What about the adoptive parents? Okay, I'm the one who raised you. I'm your mother. I'm your father. And yet this person who gave birth to you comes in. And then all of a sudden it just seems as though I am this, that, and the other. It has the potential of casting someone aside or making them feel as though, oh my God. Look at the little girl. Okay, now she was stolen. That's a whole different thing. But I'm using her as an example because what about that? What about those who can't have children and they go and stealing babies? Okay, because you say I can't have I don't want to abort the abortions and carrying on, and then so this child here wants to steal the baby. See, you know what I'm saying? Perhaps she was one who had an abortion, had a botched abortion back in the day, and now she can't have any more children. See, there's a lot of layers to this onion, honey, to where if we start to pull it back, it brings up questions. It brings up a conversation that needs to be explored and stop looking at it from this whole godly standpoint. Because that's not what this is coming. This here is not coming from a godly standpoint. This is coming from you saying that you don't want these bitches sitting up there aborting these babies and you don't want the government paying for it. And quiet as it's kept, they're not the ones who've been paying for it. Child, it's been the baby daddies. I just told you shit. Y'all don't want the daddy involved until it's time for him to pay for the damn abortion. Okay? So that's something that we have to deal with. Okay? That's something that we have to deal with. You've been arguing about Planned Parenthood and carrying on. They deal with abortions and carrying on and all of that. Now, Planned Parenthood, yes, I get it. I understand its foundation. I understand that Planned Parenthood started out to be, all this thing about eugenics, and it started out to be something that was placed into the neighborhoods of black folks and carrying on. It was a way to destroy the black family, the black community, and I get all that. But at the same time, it too has evolved, so it doesn't mean just that anymore. Okay? Because even though a lot of Planned Parenthoods are down in the hood, honey, Becky had Raheem's baby, and she had to come down into Planned Parenthood, didn't she? Because she couldn't take that. She couldn't take it to Dr. Ulu over there. She had to come down here. Okay, without her parents knowing and carrying on. So then when we started seeing a lot more of that, then Planned Parenthood was not what it once was. What it started off to be. You see? So we have a lot of this going on that we have to have this discussion about. Okay? Good morning, sweetie. So we have to really get really deep down and ugly and dirty with this conversation. Because right now, what we have is a bunch of men telling women what they can and cannot do with their bodies. At the same time, if it's a bunch of men saying it, not name one of them motherfuckers say anything about the father's rights. Now, isn't that ironic? You got a man sitting up here telling a woman what she can and cannot do with her body. How they're going to punish the doctors and this, that, and the other. But them same men has never talked about the father's rights in all of this. They haven't even advocated for it. How about that? How about that? I titled this, y'all gonna see this, I call it, the more things change, the more things stay the same. See, what's up here trying to change laws and carrying on, trying to be the betterment of humanity, and ethically we're doing the right thing and this, that, and the other. And that mayor in Alabama, that was an old white woman who signed that into law. all because of whatever it means. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say this, and for those of you who are Caucasian watching this, I hope this doesn't offend you, but it probably will. The whole idea of this, a lot of times when I hear white folks talking about that, y'all are talking about that in the hood. It's in the hood and or to stop your daughters and stuff from having interracial babies. Now, until I'm proven wrong, and I'm open to that, this is what all of you who are fact checkers and all of that, who got information, bring it to me. I welcome that here. I want you guys, bring the resource, the research and the tools. Bring it to me. That's why we're having these discussions, honey. We need to have the information. We need to educate and inform one another so that we can go out here and fight this the right way. But until I'm proven wrong, honey, I'm going to stand on. A lot of this, honey, has to deal with a lot of interracial babies coming into play, particularly white versus white and black babies, okay? And white and Latino babies, because now that we on this whole Latino thing, you know, but basically I'm gonna go everybody, because the current administration have pissed off so many damn folks to where now the idea of having interracial babies and carrying on, and whether or not you are documented or not, honey, it's becoming a thing. And then on top of not being documented, honey, you know, if you're not documented, but your bed partner is, then the baby becomes an American. See, you see where we're going. You see how this is starting to sound like a fucking soap opera. This is Peyton Place all day. This is Peyton Place all day over, and it starts off with you trying to tell a woman what she can and cannot do. She is not your property. She is not a dog. You know, even though we call them bitches, okay, but she's not a female dog, a pregnant female dog. She is not. So what become some of the solutions that we can do here? How is it that we can get folks to come out of their own feelings? Okay, because we have to look at the bigger picture. I know, let's see, I had a scare a while ago, okay? I was what? 14. And yeah, I went the old please, baby, please route, trying to get me some sex from a girlfriend at the time. Yeah, I had one of those. She kept telling me no. She told me no. She told me no. She told me no. And after I was realizing that my pleas were not being answered, I said, okay, fine. Went ducking my head, with, you know, tail between my legs and shit. When I went upstairs to go and readjust myself and carry on, because we were on our way to school, you know, I had nutted on myself. I was hot and bothered, so I nutted on myself. Okay? And I'm like, oh, wow. You know, and at 14, this is 1984. Okay? So, about 6 months later or less, she popped up pregnant with the guy who she was dating before me, okay, Rodney. She popped up pregnant with his baby, which of course that's a whole nother thing, because I knew they were still fucking and carrying on and blah blah blah. But I said all that to say, I'm 49 now, okay. So if she had said yes, her first child would have been mine. And right now, I would be the father of a 35-year-old. Okay. Hold on. Hey, now. Great morning and grand risings. All right, all right. When they gonna change out this other damn phone if it ain't working?
I don't know.
So like I said, I would have been a father of a 35-year-old right about now. But I said I'd use that story as an example because my feeling is this. Had she told me that she was going to abort that child, there would not have been anything I could do to stop her, because otherwise I would have been taking her prisoner or this, that, and the other. But my personal feeling is this. If you abort my baby, then bitch, I have nothing else to do with you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to inhale you. I really don't want to know your motherfucking name no more. Because for you to stand up to me and tell me you're going to get rid of my baby, mine, something that God said I was supposed to have been used as a vessel to get here, and that's a personal thing. However, though I feel personally that way, I still stand for a woman's right to choose. And I said all that to go back to my point what I was saying before. We got to come out of being personal and look at the broader picture. Because I'm not God. I don't have a heaven or hell to put her in, per se. I have my own personal heaven or hell. You see? But I'm not the creator. And when it's all said and done, that's going to be her that she has to deal with. And if she can make up in her mind and say, hey, okay, I'm cool with it, then that whatever that journey is for her, that's going to be between her and her maker. Has nothing to do with me. But at the same time, if that's going to be the decision, then yeah, you're dead to me, bitch. There's nothing else that we can do. I see a lot of men don't take that into consideration, because here's another part of that conversation. You might see this onion. See, men, you still want to think with your damn dicks and carrying on, and you end up paying for a fucking abortion, then you go back and still fuck the same pussy you done paid for. You done sat down there and gave her this money to abort your baby, but yet you gonna go back to her and fuck her again. What? What? Dumb. 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 Fucking dumb. And that's to all you motherfucking dope addicts. You pimps, ballers, and shot callers. A lot of y'all who sell drugs and shit. Hey, baby. What's going on, mama? Oh. Yeah, I'm going to call it out. Because, see, y'all the ones who end up got the coin. Yeah, it's nothing to y'all. She ain't nothing but a bitch anyway. See, some bitch, and then you don't want the child, and you thinking it's all cool. See, personal responsibility, honey. See, again, that's that flip side of that hoeing shit, to where they say they don't want folks to use abortion as birth control. Because hell, if a girl have too many fucking abortions with this time when she's ready to have kids, this is why a lot of them got to have C-sections. Because they can't have vaginal births or whatever. They just sat down there and fucked up the birth canal after so many times of an abortion. You see? So we have a number of things here, darlings, that we have to take into consideration when we're going to have this fight about this particular thing. Now, I would love to stand up there and carry, no, I don't mind being a mouthpiece to some of these folks. Because I don't think they've considered that. I don't think they want to. I don't think that they want to. And so we have to all get on board with that. We have to get on board as a society and say, okay, this is a difficult question, a difficult thing, but we got to look at it from all aspects. Everybody want to look at it from whether this unborn child has no rights. Who's advocating on behalf of the unborn child? Okay. But if you're going to advocate for the unborn child, then you need to advocate for the born child too. Because if she's carrying the baby to term, then what's going to happen with that child? Because you can't get mad because the food stamp program is going on or whatever, because you said the baby need to be here. And she can't find a job, or the daddy can't. No, you can't get mad at the welfare system because these babies got to be fed and clothed and educated. Y'all ain't talking about y'all are not going down there to make sure that the educational system is worth it. See, we're not talking about that. But you keep wanting to talk about abortion and how bad that is. Okay. But now what about everything else? Remember, see, the whole idea of teaching kids with the egg, remember the egg experiment when we went in class? That was your baby. You had to make sure you care for the baby, blah, 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 for a week. And you had to make sure that the egg didn't crack and this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. Huh? Well, yeah, sweetie. That's right. So we can sit down there and teach the idea that this thing is bigger than that. This thing is bigger than that. There's responsibility that goes with it. So if that's the case, if that's what we're teaching them about what pregnancy and having a child is, then you pro-lifers need to sit down there and have that discussion to where it's expanded to where you understand once the baby get here that you say shouldn't be aborted, then there's got to be shit that's got to be in place. And you can't get mad at the welfare system if the girl is on welfare. Hey, good morning. You cannot get upset because you said the baby need to be here. You fought for that. You fought the doctors. You fought the clinics. You cannot get upset if the health care insurance goes up because now the babies need insurance. They got to go to the eye doctor. They got to get their shots. Got to go to the dentist. So you can't be upset. You can't be upset. You can't. Because you said this baby needs to be here. So in this fight, those are the things that we need to consider. You hear? So on that note, and I said I had a couple of things, but I'm going to make this into another video. But, because I do want to talk about the Morehouse College thing, and but if I start now, it's going to take me over. So I don't want to talk about the Morehouse College idea, and that there was such a brilliant thing, that this black man who was given an honorary doctorate said that he was going to give his class, because I too am a class of 2019, and he paid off all of their student loans. I cried about it, and I'm just saying, damn, why wasn't that Morehouse? Because I'm graduating this year too. My policy is I'm owing what, $75,000, okay, in student loans, first time ever. So I'm gonna get on that in a minute because I don't want to water down this argument. If you love me, tell a friend, honey. If you hate me, honey, tell an enemy. But you know this: one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that I'm doing will move forward, honey. Take this conversation, share this with others. Let's get this going, honey. Let's get this one on and popping, because we have a lot. It's a lot to come down the pipeline, honey. Because this is so far from over. We're just beginning to see what's going on with all of this, and it's finna going to ruffle a lot of feathers and carry on. Some people finna going to say some stupid shit. Some people finna going to throw God into everything and try to scare folks into some shit, and it's not cute. It's really, really, really not cute. So let's get this conversation going, and I will talk to you guys again soon, honey. Okay, thank you so much. Ciao, ciao, ciao.